Little CCR. We're back here on Turner Chitown, 773-966-2494 with you till 6 p.m. on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. I'm Jake Turner. Ray Cole will be back next week, and we'll be looking forward to that. Now, joining us on the line is a very good friend of mine. He is the host of Whole 'Nother Level in Sarasota, Florida. He is also a rabid Eagles fan. Eric Wilson is on the show. Eric, how you doing tonight?
Man, Jake, I'm good, man. I love the show. Thank you for having me.
I am very happy to have you here, my man. So why don't you tell the audience about your show here really quick?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Whole 'Nother Level every Saturday, 1 to 3. You can check us out on Spreaker.com, Raw Talk Online. Website's very simple, HNL3.com. We're also going to be doing a Tuesday show, recapping the Sunday and Monday night games, but more importantly, I want to talk to you real quick because I have a question to ask you, Jake.
Yeah, fire away, my man.
Okay, I know you are a fan of a team to the north. We won't talk about them, but I'm just going to say, how confident are you week 1 against the Jacksonville Jaguars?
I'm very confident. I mean, how can you not be confident? I mean, I believe that this Jacksonville team is going to go 9-7 this year, but with that, is that they're going to have a slow start, okay? This is Gus Bradley's make-or-break year, but I think they're going to start out the year 1-3. Look, this Packers team is amazingly healthy. I understand Josh Sitton is gone now, but we have Lane Taylor, had a decent preseason, and I have all the confidence in the world for this team. Eddie Lacy lost 30 pounds. They are looking good. They're looking sharp. Jordy Nelson's coming back. Hopefully, he is able to recover well off that torn ACL he had last year. And I love this defense. I'm actually looking forward to that rookie out of Northwestern, Dean Lowry, to punch it in off the right side as the defensive end alongside Mike Daniels. Watch out for Mike Daniels. And then this linebacker core, if you haven't heard the name Blake Martinez, I guarantee you at the end of the year, you definitely will hear that name.
All right, I have to ask because, I'm looking at Jacksonville this year, and I've seen the progression of Blake Bortles and Gus Bradley year in and year out. Very similar to what we've been seeing with Andrew Luck. However, Andrew Luck got sidelined last year. So I'm saying they're going to come out game 1 with a lot of intensity, and I hope that Aaron Rodgers, Eddie Lacy, Jordy Nelson, I hope they're all ready for this because if they sleep on Jacksonville, they are going to start the season 0-1.
You're absolutely right. I couldn't agree more. I mean, because then they have that big-time opening of U.S. Bank Stadium in Minnesota on Sunday Night Football against the Vikings. So if you're going into that game 0-1, oh boy, you're already behind the 8 ball, all ready to start it. But I really don't think that's going to happen. Jacksonville's defense is still not there yet. They're rebuilding. They're gelling together. I can't wait to see what Jalen Ramsey and Myles Jack do throughout the year, but I really don't think that they're going to be ready against the Packers quite yet. That bearing in mind, though, let's jump to your Philadelphia Eagles for a second. Carson Wentz now is the starter for your Eagles. How excited are you for this against Cleveland?
Oh, you could not find a bigger Philadelphia Eagles fan in the state of Florida than me right now. I have been riding high since last Saturday morning when I found out that Bradford was gone and that Carson Wentz was going to get to start because this is what we wanted. As a Philadelphia fan base, this is what we wanted. We said we were going to go up to get the number 2 draft pick. So therefore, there is no reason to stick him on the bench. We need to put him out there. We need to see what our investment's going to give us a return. I feel like it's going to be a really great return. And honestly, Cleveland week 1, and then, of course, Chicago week 2, I'm already predicting 2-0.
So after I just pretty much tried to convince this Chicago Bears fan base that this team was going to go 8-8, you come out here and you already tell me that the Eagles are going to go 2-0? Are you kidding me right now?
No, sir. Listen to me. I love John Fox, but here is the difference maker. You have Jay Cutler, a guy who is one of the most talented quarterbacks I think I have ever seen, but has the worst case of just being a lazy, underproducing quarterback. He doesn't have it in him.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And but he did have a good year last year with Adam Gase, so we'll see what Dwayne Loggins can do with him. I mean, he hasn't had a back-to-back offensive coordinator ever since he's been in Chicago. So It's going to be interesting, but I think you're looking more away from Kevin White. Now, keep this in mind. He had a broken leg last year. He has not been able to really produce well in the preseason, but the Bears are going to put him out there. What are you expecting out of this kid out of West Virginia?
Listen, I'll tell you one thing about them West Virginia boys. When they get to the NFL, they truly turn it on, as my show says, to a whole nother level. So
you know it.
Be prepared to watch him go up and down the field. He actually does scare me. That may be the saving grace for Jay Cutler, because he finally has somebody who's not afraid to take the rock and go up the middle and show defenses, listen, if you want me, you gonna go with me 5-6 yards, because I'm going to get my first down.
Eric, what do you see happening out of the Eagles? You're in a real, I'm not going to lie to you. I called the NFC East the trash dump of the NFC. It's a joke. But how can the Eagles contend with a team that has rookie quarterback Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott for the Cowboys, Washington with, hopefully, back-to-back good years for Kirk Cousins, and also you signed Jim Schwartz as your new defensive coordinator who has top 10 defenses in his past, and he's going to bring it again, a lot of talent. What are you expecting out of the Eagles in this ridiculousness that is the NFC East?
Listen, the NFC East by far is the beat-up division of the league.
It's a joke.
That's all they do. We beat up on one another week in and week out. The rivalries have withstood the test of time. So what I will say to you is, looking at Washington, they basically stole the division championship last year because nobody else, not the Eagles, not the Cowboys, nor the Giants, wanted to win a game. Dallas couldn't win because Tony Romo wasn't healthy. Sam Bradford and Chip Kelly, that was the worst combination ever.
Thank you. Couldn't agree more on that.
Was just basically Eli Manning. That's all he was.
This is the funniest thing is, I feel like I'm in the twilight zone right now of the NFL because everybody keeps thinking that the Giants are going to win the East. Are they kidding me? What do you need in football? You need an offensive line, you need a running game. And they have neither, and they don't have Tom Coughlin. Seriously, I really think the Giants are going to be last in the division. I think your Eagles are going to be better than them.
Here's what I will say to you in regards to that. Look at the history of the Giants since Eli has stepped on. For 2 or 3 years in a 4 to 5 year span, the Giants are mediocre or less. Then they have that one solid year where they can either get in at the wild card or win the division, and they roll all the way to the Super Bowl. We haven't seen that in 3 to 4 years. So expect the Giants to come out and play. Victor Cruz is healthy. Odell Beckham Jr. is ready to go. We get to see OBJ and Josh Norman twice a year now.
That is going to be nasty. I'm just getting tired of Josh Norman talk. I'm just getting tired of Josh Norman and Odell Beckham Jr. talking. Just put up, shut up, and go play. And that's what we've been really wanting. I'm so tired of this so-called trash talk. All right, seriously, it's Bush League. Grow up. But I will say this right now about the NFC East. We go from the least to one of the best. How excited are you for the NFC West, and who do you think is going to win that division?
Ooh, good question. Good question.
Very tough, isn't it?
It is. And I say that only because I expect Arizona to get back to the postseason. I expect Seattle to be just as good as they have been in the past. And I think you really have to look at the Rams and say, don't sleep on them. Yes, Case Keenum is starting. But I think if Jared Goff gets his opportunity, I think the Rams are going to be a solid, formidable team.
Eric, I'm looking at the Rams and I'm going 8-8. I think Todd Gurley's going to have a 1,900 to 2,000 yard season. I really buy into that. They got a good offensive line. They got a phenomenal defense. That secondary, though, is kind of questionable. And I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think Case Keenum is the answer to my troubles. I will say I hope Jared Goff is in by week 8. I really do hope that that does happen. But I can't not say that the Cardinals and the Seahawks are not going to be in the playoffs. They are going to be. It's without doubt because they have Carson Palmer and Russell Wilson. But my big question is with this, is Carson Palmer, who has never gotten to the Super Bowl, all right, how can Cardinal fans have confidence in Carson Palmer going forward?
I can give you that in 2 words. Larry Fitzgerald.
Bringing up Larry Fitzgerald? Really? I thought you'd bring up like Michael Floyd or something.
No, because I'll tell you what, the Arizona defense with Patrick Peterson and the rest of those guys, they're going to do their job. But Carson Palmer, as long as he has Larry Fitzgerald to go to, they will be successful. Do I see them getting to the postseason? Yes. Do I see them in the NFC Championship game? That still remains to be seen, but right now, I'll give it to them.
What's a team that is going under the radar right now that could really hurt some teams' seasons? What's a team that really comes out to you? It could be either the AFC or the NFC.
In the NFC, I'm going to tell a lot of people, be careful with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Thank you.
I think that Jameis Winston avoids the sophomore slump. I feel that he takes this team, and I feel they get a wild card spot, and they make some noise in the playoffs.
I couldn't agree
now,
more.
As far as the
doesn't
AFC,
it kind of feel different that these are two guys that are coming from the Atlanta Falcons, Dirk Cutter and Mike Smith? Mike Smith, the former head coach, is now his defensive coordinator. Mike Smith has had a very good history of coaching up very good defenses. I'm looking forward to Tampa Bay ball. I'm not going to lie to you. I have them going 9-7 as well. But there's another team I want you to watch out for, and you think I'm lying, but I can't not say that the Minnesota Vikings are not going to be a pain in the Packers' side this year. Yes, I know Sam Bradford is there, but they still got Adrian Peterson. They got a good offensive line with Alex Boone being signed and a very good defense. I can't count out the Minnesota Vikings.
Listen, they won the crown last year, so they are going to defend their title of being the NFC North champions. When you, year in and year out, have to look at Green Bay and say, we are in the second place because they are at the top of the mountain, Minnesota's not ready to give that up yet. So
Absolutely
what I'm going to say
is Mike Zimmer, when he became coach, I sat there and I told Viking fans, you got a winner here. So expect playoff appearances. I think everybody is just way too carried away with counting out the Minnesota Vikings. I think that's ridiculously Bush League.
No, I agree. I actually have them retaining their title and winning the NFC North this year.
I got the Packers at 12-4. I got the Vikings at 11-5. Bears 8-8, and Detroit 5-11.
Wow, you're being nice to Detroit. I gave Detroit 3-13.
Woo, boy, Bob Quinn, it really has his work cut out for him. Matthew Stafford, watch out for Jake Rudock, who really did a good job in the preseason, and he's only on the practice squad, but next year, expect Jake Rudock to have an opportunity at that starting spot.
No, I couldn't agree with you more.
Eric, so before you go here, I want to hear this. I want you to give me your playoff teams and then your Super Bowl prediction. Go.
Okay. In the NFC, I've got my Eagles winning their division. I've got the Minnesota Vikings. I've got the Arizona Cardinals. And, of course, I've got the Carolina Panthers repeating as NFC South champions. So then my two wild cards, I'm going with Jacksonville, and Tampa Bay, and then I'm going to go with Seattle.
All right.
So now my NFC Championship game, and this is being totally objective. I say it's going to be Seattle versus Minnesota in the NFC Championship game, with Seattle going back to the Super Bowl.
Whew, that's a pretty good prediction. I won't lie to you on that one.
So then you flip over to the AFC. I have the Patriots. I have, the Indianapolis Colts. I have the Oakland Raiders. And who am I missing? Oh, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers, of course.
Okay.
Now my two wildcard slots. One slated to the Jets, and the other one slated to Denver.
Good call on that one. All right, Eric, I'll give you mine here quickly because we are starting to run out of time here. All right, I'm going to say Packers and the Vikings. They get into the playoffs. I'm going to say Carolina gets in. I'm going to say the Seattle Seahawks get in. Arizona gets in. And by default, I got to say the Washington Redskins for that one. I believe it's going to be the Cardinals and the Packers, whether it's at Arizona or at Green Bay. They're going to meet up. I think it's going to be a vengeance game, to be honest, for the Super Bowl. And for the AFC, I'm going to throw one at you here. So I got Pittsburgh. I got Houston. I got Jacksonville as my wild card. I am not sold on Indianapolis yet. I don't like the way Brian Grigson has built this team. I don't like their offensive line, and I'm not sold on them. I don't really believe that this Indianapolis team is going to really do much. I think Andrew Luck's going to do something, but they don't have a running game. I'm also going to take New England, and then I'm going to throw one right at you. Kansas City and Oakland both get in. And then for my Super Bowl pick, I'm going to take the Packers and the Patriots.
Yeah, my AFC team going back to the Super Bowl is going to be New England. So I have Seattle, New England, and I have New England actually winning the Super Bowl this year.
All right, Eric. Well, hey, man, it was a pleasure having you here on the show, and definitely we'll be talking next week here for Bears and Eagles, where you already believe they're going to go 2-0. But good luck to your Eagles, and we'll talk to you next week.
Man, Jake, thanks for having me on again. Whole nother level every Saturday, 1 to 3. Spreaker.com, Raw Talk Online, website. Check us out, www.h10l3.com. Good talking to you, bro.